Right, so today what we're going to be talking about, again apologies for echo, we still haven't sorted everything out yet in this room. It's still, a big empty box. At the moment we have a curtain now, which you can't see, but we have the semblance of a rug in here. It's actually just a mat that I had ages ago that, it's something, it's better than walking, on a cold bit of card, whatever is a cold bit of wood that is on the floor at the moment. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is Tachyon Anomaly. It is done, it's finished, and I only got to play 3 days of it because I was moving, but I think in those 3 days I've managed to get pretty much everything that the event had to offer, because I'm going to talk about the good stuff, I'm going to talk about the bad. I'm going to talk about the good stuff first because the good stuff is kind of important, but the bad stuff is also kind of important, and it's a good balancing act of the two. There's a lot going on in this, but there's also not very much going on in this as well. The main thing is it's brought in new players. It's not brought in like the amount of new players that it probably wanted to. It's not brought in the amount of new players that it probably needed to, but it's brought in new players and it's brought in new people, and it's easier to get into missions. It's easier to matchmake with people, and it's just easier to. It's just improved a lot of the quality of life stuff. Yes, those improvements only lasted 2 weeks and all that, but it's still improvements nonetheless, and the people who came in through this event probably will stay until the next event, because the next event is only in a few days, so that's a thing that's really cool. But brought in new players, easier to matchmake, that's the extent of the good stuff. So basically, if you don't play Marvel's Avengers and you don't know what I'm talking about by Tachyon Anomaly, basically what it is basically you can run missions with multiples of the same characters. So you can have multiple Hulks going in, you can have multiple Iron Mans going in, multiple Hawkeyes going in, etc, etc. And that's cool, but that's the extent of the event. There's nothing outside of that. There's no new missions, there's no new types of missions, there's nothing new with this, apart from like getting you to do similar tasks than you've already been doing that you would do anyway, and giving you pretty good rewards from it, or very good rewards from it, and giving you very good rewards for characters you may not play as otherwise. This is the smallest thing that was on the roadmap, and it shows, because there's nothing here. There's nothing to do. It's basically just run the same thing again, but you can do it with 2 Hulks. You can do it with 2 Iron Mans. You can do it with 2 Black Widows. You can do it with a whole team of Black Widows if you want. But there's nothing outside of that to really ensure that people stay. The mission chain is just defeat 5 Dreadbots, defeat 5 of this, 5 of that. There's no new missions, there's no new areas, there's no... I'm not saying that I expected that, but I expected maybe even a cutscene to maybe explain what's going on. I don't think you need to tie it directly into the story of the game, but maybe just something over to the side that's hey, there's 2 Hulks now. That's weird. Or, hey, there's 2 Iron Mans. Or, if you're in... I don't even think there's dialogue for, if you have multiple of the same character. You don't have the 2 Tonys bantering off each other in the missions or, in the elevator scenes. That's just not in the game, and I feel like that's kind of... Even that would have been nice. Even that would have been a nice touch, but there's nothing like that. It's literally just you get given some mission chains that are just complete 2 priority missions and match up with another person playing as the same character as you. Complete 2 villain sectors and match up with two people playing the same character as you. Complete this, complete that, complete this, complete that. And it's the same old loop as before. It's just this was made entirely for the purpose of grinding and grinding out characters that you don't play to get ready for stuff that's coming. And this being the way that it is kind of leads me to believe that stuff like Omega level threats, stuff like Red Room Takeover, which we know Red Room Takeover is coming in days time. It's coming on the 6th, so we have a date for that. OLTs are probably coming soon because they've dropped something which is specifically catered towards grinding up characters that you haven't been grinding before. But if you're in like my shoes and you've got every character at a decent enough level, then this is probably just, it's fun for a couple hours, and then you've done everything that there is to do, and the game is going back into that usual slog of same mission after same mission after same mission after same mission, and there's nothing really outside of that is keeping you invested. The gear is nice. Very nice that you can get an exotic for any character, not just the characters you already have at level 150. It's exotics for any character that you have, no matter what their level. I like that. I like that that is in the game now. Would like if that was an option permanently. I would like if there was a game mode that had that as an option permanently, as a permanent option. But as it stands right now, having it tied to a 2-week long event, I'm fine with that. What do I feel about this being locked to 2 weeks? I would have liked if it was a permanent thing. I would have liked the ability maybe to have the Tachyon Anomaly rifts be a 2-week long event thing, but then have the ability to matchmake with multiple of the same character, have that be a permanent thing, or have that be like, or have the Tachyon rifts be permanent, the Tachyon Anomaly rifts be permanent, and have those be the only missions where you can team up with multiple Hulks, multiple Iron Mans, multiple of whatever character you main. And that would be cooler than having like the 2-week limit, but it's wide open to every mission. I just don't see why they limited it to 2 weeks when there's so many cool things you can do with having like 4 caps, 1 Iron Man, and trying to make a triangle. Shout out to Revealing Too Much, who did that on stream. But that's a cool thing that you want to be able to do whenever you want, not just in this 2-week window. And I get that this is coming back. This is going to cycle over and over, but there's just nothing to talk about here. There's just nothing really to grab onto. There's no new, it's not a new piece of content, it's just the same content, it's just a different coat of paint. And that's what a lot of this game has been. It's been the same content with a different coat of paint. And I'm really excited to see what Red Room is, because it looks and it sounds like something different. It's building on a character that was introduced in the main game that hasn't really gotten anything before and didn't really do much in the main story. So now they're giving Black Widow her time to shine. It just would have been cool if there was at least a cutscene to kind of explain what's going on. And that's kind of the thing. You just dropped into the game, and you're like, choose this, and then it's the same mission as before, or it's the same mission that you've already played, but you're just playing it with another person playing the same character as you. It's kind of, I don't want to throw around the word lazy, because I know that this was, like, this probably wasn't, and this probably took a long time to develop, but it shows that this is the first thing on the roadmap, and it shows why this is the first thing on the roadmap, because it does seem like the easiest thing to implement, and it does seem like a relatively, like, not very hype thing, but it would be more hype if there was more stuff to do with it, and if it had its own missions and its own, like, mini story, if it was treated more like an operation than just, oh, here's a mission chain that gives you, like, some gear at the end, and, you know, there's a lot of stuff to do, but the stuff to do isn't any different than the stuff that you would have done before. And that's kind of my biggest gripe with Avengers as a whole, as the way that they've been doing it at the moment. There's a lot of stuff to do, but none of it is different than the stuff that you would be doing than you've already done. And when you've done all of that, you've seen everything that the game has to offer, and then you're done, pretty much. Then it's pretty much just a grind fest, and the grind fest needs to be more fun. There needs to be more of a reason behind that grind fest, and right now there isn't. And hopefully with Red Room, hopefully with the new villain sector coming in, hopefully with, I mean, patrol mode is definitely going to be the answer to this big problem. Patrol mode is going to solve a lot of problems, I think, from the sounds of it. It sounds like something that's going to be grindy and fun at the same time, and that's what I want. But patrol mode should have been here. It should have been here, and I get that patrol mode is the hardest thing and the biggest thing to implement, and I get that they need the time to perfect it, but patrol mode should have been released earlier, and maybe save this, or release this with another side piece of content that, you know, gives you something to do. Because as it stands right now, there's nothing really to do, but thankfully we have Red Room coming very, very soon, so, you know, that is the one saving grace of this. It's that this is short. This is like a short event, but then we've got Red Room coming straight after, and I am so happy with the devs and so happy with Crystal Dynamics for, you know, getting content out quickly because in leading up to this, content has been so sparse and so, like, the waiting times have been so long, so the fact that the waiting time has gone from a few months to literally 3 days between an event is brilliant. I just hope that Red Room is something to do. I hope that Red Room has new missions. I hope that Red Room has a little bit of story behind it. I hope that Red Room has, like, stuff to do. That's all I want with this game, just stuff to do. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I stream over on Twitch every day. I stream Marvel's Avengers, I stream Destiny 2, I stream a lot of other stuff. Mainly Marvel's Avengers at the moment because getting ready for Red Room, doing a lot of Black Widow grinding. So, see you guys over there. Peace.